Daisy Wang is a curator of Chinese and East Asian art at the Peabody Essex Museum in the U.S. state of Massachusetts. I asked her about the growing interest in China's art scene.
So China has a long history of producing art, which means we produced a lot of artworks. But also China has a long history of collecting art and appreciating art. So definitely I agree with you. I think that is one of the dynamics, is that there is a sense of cultural pride. But also there are many factors at play here, and in many other cultures, as well as in Chinese culture, art is also a form of investment. But also art sometimes can serve as a means of culture patina. So I think I definitely see a parallel between America 100 years ago and China now. So let's go back to the time of J.P. Morgan, the time of Rockefeller, of Henry Frick. That at the time they basically earned a lot of resources, and they were really thinking about, using art as a form of culture patina, but also they're very philanthropic. So they're trying to establish collections that's available to the public. That's why we are here in America, blessed with so many great collections around the world. But there's a critical difference in China now, is that at the time, American people were collecting primarily European art, masterpieces, Rembrandt, Vermeer, but China at this point, still the major focus of collecting is still on Chinese art, which is also very interesting.
Daisy, one of the things that I found interesting last time I was in China, I was visiting with a female CEO who talked about her past and how she was one of those stories, so many stories that we see in China, of someone who grew up in poverty, was able to be lifted out of poverty, very, very successful at this stage in her life, middle-aged. Are you seeing a lot of that, a new generation of art collectors in China, perhaps a deeper appreciation as prosperity tends to be seen there in China more of late? Are there more people out there collecting art?
I think there are growing number of people collecting art. I think that's a major force that's driving the market right now. And I will say that I will see that trend continues, like you said.
Why is Western art a big draw for collectors, do you think?
What is really interesting, in the past 10 years, you also see sort of the diversification of the art market in terms of what Chinese people are really interested in collecting. Just even inside Chinese art, while people started ceramics, people were collecting classical paintings, antiquities, basically. But now you also see people are really interested in collecting modern art and contemporary art, basically art of the 20th and 21st centuries. So even within Chinese art, you see a diversification of art collecting. But also, I do want to comment on your point that I definitely see there are a lot of people, including also institutions, they are very interested in collecting non-Chinese art, not just in Western art, but also, for example, Himalayan art, for example, Japanese art, even African art. So I think that is very exciting for the market and also for the collectors.